Round 3 of Fanatec Esports GT Pro Series is set to go racing. We go green, it is blast off, a good getaway by Nestorf in the Mercedes. How brave is he going to be as they head towards Eau Rouge for the first time? He goes absolutely toe-to-toe with Heinrich the Porsche, caps out in front. Nestorf runs wide over the curve, and as they power up Radion for the first time, it is Heinrich ahead, it's Porsche in the lead.
Ferrari, not a very good start from Nicholas Nielsen.
Loco.
Dropped down to 5th position. Lots of defending going on towards LEGAMOS. They are very, very close. There's not much gap between the top 5-6 cars, and they still squabble their way through LEGAMOS with Lauren Heinrich still leading. Got a little bit of a slide on as he leant on that rear right tyre, and it wasn't quite up to temperature. The Ferrari still dropping down, this time under pressure from Sandy Mitchell, who looks to the inside, and there's a slow Audi in between them as well, so Gazoon losing time, Nielsen to the outside and losing more position.
Yeah, Nielsen's getting shuffled back in the pack, isn't he, having qualified 4th. He's coming under attack then as they drop downhill from Einschied-Guven, who's in that battle pack as well. So race leaders drop downhill, ready to go left of Pouan, and they're already 1 or 2 little gaps opening up, and Larry Heinrich is on a real mission on this first lap to try to get away. On board with Marius Zug now as he comes through Pouan, closing on the traffic ahead.
A couple of years ago, that would have been chaos in this race. They are so much more professional and clean than they ever was. Marius Zug struggling with the rear end of that car. Gilles Magnus goes around the outside of the first part, inside of the second part, squeezes Zug nearly off the circuit, so Zug dives down the inside at Campos and gets that move done, but there'll be more momentum from Gilles Magnus as he comes through Stavolo. And there is also the Mercedes looking to take advantage as well. No, it's Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW right now on the tail of Gilles Magnus.
So they work their way out of Blanchimont for the first time. Great reception in the arena for Marius Zug's bravery there. Corona from Leonardo Puccini. Got back on the circuit, but a lot of time is lost as they head up towards the chicane. Nicholas Nielsen then is under attack. They break, Zug is under attack as well, because to the outside line there goes Gilles Magnus. He's going to be level with the Mercedes. He's got the inside line coming out of the chicane. The Mercedes just with its nose in front. They're going to be almost side by side to the timing line, but all the grunt of that Mercedes AMG keeps it ahead of the Audi R8 as they head towards La Source. Now it is up to Gilles Magnus to be really brave on the brakes. This is for 8th and 9th and 10th. Van der Linde gets up the inside. He's going to go ahead of the Audi. So yes, Van der Linde goes up in the 9th spot now.
And ahead, Giamato and Nicholas Nielsen running side by side into Eau Rouge. That's been a good scrap on lap 1 as the Ferrari hasn't got up to temperature. They go single file through Eau Rouge, which is the best option. Plenty of improvisation at the top of the hill, but they all managed to survive. And again, just 1 car rotated on lap 1. Great stuff.
So Heinrich led by half a second over the stripe at the end of lap 1. It's now got Sheldon van der Linde lines up to have a go and Zug to the outside line. There goes the McLaren lower down the order as well up towards LEGAMOS, side by side in the pack. Lamborghini just fending off McLaren as they turn their way through. So you've got Jordan Pepper squabbling with Nikolai Sheargard, and now comes out of LEGAMOS ahead. Neil Verhagen is closing up as well, 17th at the start of the lap. Jordan Pepper making progress, Heinrich trying to get away. Nestorf is in second place with Robert Brussels, sideways, Carl Scatter. I think Charlie Fagg was the one that was given the tap there, that got him all unsettled. No, sorry, Charlie Fagg survives it. Sheargard gets run out wide, and there's more contact and one in the wall as they come downhill out of Brussels. Big drama coming down the hill there.
Yeah, Clement Schmidt was also spinning in the background, but De Fulco and Callum Williams also involved. 3 cars off the circuit in that middle part of the lap and causing yellow flags. They will tumble to the back of the field, but of course there is points and prizes still to be won. So get the car repaired and carry on. Get your head down. There's 56 minutes still remaining.
And all the time, Lauren Heinrich is trying to build this gap as you look there at the fight between Nicholas Nielsen, Daniele Diamato and Marius Zug, who's going great guns here up into 8th place. He's closing on the traffic, he's taking Van der Linde with him. Diamato now, the Porsche, lines up to have a go. Nicholas Nielsen's Ferrari going to have to be really brave to have a go up on Blanchimont, and he's not quite able to find the room really. He's got the pace, he's right there on the back of the Ferrari. Now there might be a dive to the inside line of the chicane. No, Nielsen covers that. To the outside line goes Diamato. And then Zug and Van der Linde close, and Nielsen's made a real hash of the chicane. Skips it, comes out ahead, Zug is sideways, tapped by Van der Linde, that straightens him up. To the outside line goes Gilles Magnus, the Audi gains a place as well.
Great stuff in the pack, just these little touches, but they shouldn't cause too much damage to the cars. It's the bigger things, the bigger contacts that cause the damage that need to be repaired. The only problem that you do get from small taps like that is the straight line speed, and that's what you need going down towards Les Gaumes. The Kennel Straight requires maximum velocity, and if you have a bit of damage on the car, you're compromised throughout the whole of the race. That is not wise, going side by side up Eau Rouge. And from Thomas Drouet, he sees it happening. Fag and Zug back out of it. Fag ahead of Zug now for 10th, and that is leading in class.
Might not be wise, but it's good to watch. There, Marius Zug starts to have to go defensive. Thomas Drouet likewise in the 87 Mercedes up towards Les Gaumes. Laurin Heinrich is building this gap though, 9/10 of a second up the road. The race leader from Alexei Nessov has out wide run, yet more of it. Thomas Drouet, I think, in the middle of all of that he is. Gets it back on the black bit, but he's very defensive because Jordan Pepper was looking for a way by. Dramas early on did for Leonardo Porcini. Also, we have lost the car of Bocard after contact early on in the race, and that was all coming out of turn 9, and then more mayhem at the foot of the hill for Callum Williams getting turned around. It was number 30 BMW. He has pitted, and Alberto Di Volta has pitted as well.
Back in real world rather than the replay, Nicholas Kiergaard, that was the second impact, and that was a lot larger. The Audi looked like it just came across the Lamborghini, but we've also lost Nicholas Kiergaard, who's dropped down a couple of positions in the first of our McLarens. We've seen him almost throughout the whole of the Pro Series, but he doesn't necessarily show as high as he has been. 18th position he's now dropped to. Charlie Fagg in the top 10 in the other McLaren, doing a much better job. But a lot of those cars that we saw crashing and spinning around, all in the same class, which is being led by Charlie Fagg. That's the gold class this year, and the gold class only has 6 competitors, so there's points available even if you're sitting in the pits right now. Callum Williams needs to get back out on the track, needs to finish this race, claim those points, but there are points and prize money available to them.
And more drama coming out of the cars last time. Car on the right. Up the curve, and then Jordan Pepper gets to the inside line and got his nose chopped off and squeezed towards the grass, and then the contact to Brissell. Sort of pinball effect, and that was why Kiergaard dropped all over places. Drouet got a big tag.
Who was that in the black machine? That was very naughty. Race control will not like that as well. Remember, real world race control, humans having a look at all of these incidents and giving penalties out. I fear as though there might be quite a few. It was good in lap 1, it was less good in lap 2.
Yeah, they could have been Demon happy after that. Laurin Heinrich leads by over a second now. Alexei Nessov. Andrew Guven is third, so you've got Porsche 1 and 3. Cesar Galzo is in 4th, Sandy Mitchell in 5th, Nicholas Nielsen 6th, Daniele Diamanto is 7th, and then this battle is 8th. Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW, Gilles Magnus in the Audi. You're on board with Magnus now as they go up into Les Gaumes. They go right, left, right again. Van der Linde is battling his way up the order. He was 13th on the grid, so he's making good progress. Magnus way out wide over the curve, coming out of Les Gaumes and over the brown now into Brussels.
Sheldon van der Linde, like Neil Verhagen, getting great support from BMW's esports team. They are here, of course, to race tomorrow evening, but they've provided the setup to the boys, and only a little bit of tweaking and just practicing, making sure they feel comfortable with that setup over the last couple of hours. Obviously, with Neil Verhagen carrying weight, it probably isn't the same as Sheldon van der Linde's setup to try and mitigate the effects of that weight as much as possible. But van der Linde, 8th position for one BMW, and Verhagen up to 13th after the victory last time out. That was his second victory in the series. You might remember the first one. It was the first round of last year's championship, and he scampered away.
Absolutely dominated in that Imola race. Clement Schmidt, 20th for the back of the grid, but he's running out of real estate.
Yellow flag in second.
The race leader, Laurin Heinrich, doing a really good job up the road. Steadily building that gap, 10th here and 10th there, and stretching the margin over the opposition. Alexei Nessov, the class leader, second. Andrew Guven is still third. And then Cesar Galzo in 4th place. They go right, they go left again. Out of that chicane, up towards the timing line. Sandy Mitchell, they're getting off the tail of Cesar Galzo's Audi. Sandy Mitchell, Lamborghini factory driver, British GT champion, heads up towards the timing line. A single-seater to GT convert. K-Pax racing Lamborghini, the American team, down towards La Source. He's not quite close enough there, though, to make a dive.
One penalty being given out already for
Dio.
He was the one we saw in the gravel trap and in the wall, but race control have obviously found something that he has done wrong. We haven't got the information yet on our screens, but down in 22nd position, this little red square that you can see on the screen indicates that he has a 10-second not a drive-through penalty, it's just a 10-second penalty that he can serve in the pit stop. Remember, there is a pit stop. You only have to do 1 litre of fuel. You don't have to change the tyres, but you do have to come in, and that will register as a pit stop.
Me estás haciendo perder un montón de tiempo, loco, tío.
A couple of glitches where those pit stops have not been registered, but ultimately proven to have been completed.
So here is the information to stop and go. 10 seconds to number 19, Leonardo Puccini, for an unsafe retouring. 26.
Vale, vale.
Out of the race.
Yeah, presumably out of his rig as
Bueno, empieza la chunga ahora con los neumáticos ya.
Right, Sandy Mitchell we're looking at here, running in 5th place, going after Cesar Gazzo, down now through Juan once again. That gap has opened up a little bit over the course of the lap. They were almost nose to tail when they came over the timing line. No surprise to know that the fastest lap has gone the way of Lauren Heinrich, 2:17.302. But right now, Sandy Mitchell hustles on, trying to bring down that gap once again so that he can have a go at Gazzo's Audi. Actually, Guven still runs third, and it's his second. Lauren Heinrich is the race leader. And the class leaders are Heinrich, Nessel, and then Charlie Fagg leading his class in 10th place.
Both Heinrich and Guven, no points out of the last round of the championship at Paul Ricard, but points in Monza means they feature well in the standings and don't carry weight, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the Porsche drivers so far up here. Both also associated to VRS Coanda, who have a kind of a works contract with Porsche to run in various championships. We don't see those guys run as a Porsche sim racing team in ACC, but they do certainly lend support to Ruben, who actually spends his time at the Coanda house, which is where the sim racing team live and practice and live in the world of sim racing. And Guven spends quite a lot of time when racing is very intense for him with those guys, sim racing, as well as then using it as a base for his real world escapade as a Porsche factory driver. Heinrich, in a similar vein as well, from Germany, spends a lot of time with those guys. So huge support from VRS Coanda, not officially, but unofficially in these races.
Yeah, Guven's been a revelation.
Te lo he dicho.
Was incredibly good in that. So the FIA GT Nations Cup. The Porsche you're looking at here, though, Daniele Diamato is ready to strike against Nicholas Nielsen, isn't it? For 6th and 7th places, this battle together up towards Lincoln, but I don't think Diamato is quite near enough there to make the move. But that Ferrari just does not have the pace at the moment
Va, camino libre, va.
to get away. Behind, looking ever more menacing, is Sheldon van der Linden chipping away, coming up from 13th on the grid. The WRT BMW edging a little bit nearer to this battle for 6th place.
Yeah, Nicholas Nielsen here slightly struggling. The Ferrari was very much the car to have in the first couple of rounds. And when we saw the wild cards and the privateer entries at Monza in the sim racing series, they all had Ferraris, every single one of them. But Sandy Mitchell, with 2 points out of the last round, maybe is just slightly struggling with that. Here's Sandy Mitchell on the back of Gazou for 4th position.
And what he's done is be able to now bring down that gap. It had stretched out again, but Sandy Mitchell has chipped away. He has narrowed that deficit. They come down now towards the canvas right-hander. Very wide goes Gazzo, but Mitchell does exactly the same thing. Now it's Paul Frere back onto the car, and this drags the cars all the way around out the other side, past the medical centre, and then on to the Consulting Centre on the right-hand side. Start the climb again towards Blanchimont. Mitchell looking as though he's near enough to have a go coming into the chicane. Tighter line through Blanchimont. Sandy Mitchell's got the speed. Which way does he go to make the move? He looks on the inside line. There's the gap. He's going to have to brake very, very late. There's a little nudge between them, and Sandy backs out of it respectfully. So Cesar Gazzo hangs on to the place, but that was very close indeed.
There was very, very little space to get down the inside there. He made it incredibly hard for Sandy Mitchell, and he's now going to have to re-plan and maybe just surprise Cesar Gazzo a little bit. We've seen Roy Mehrhouse in that Boots and BDS Audi on the first round of the championship, and Cesar Gazzo last time out in Paul Ricard, both getting 3rd position, both getting themselves onto the podium of the Silver Cup. At the moment, Gazou doing one better. Nezov leading the Silver Cup, but Gazou 2nd, and Diamato, who we now are looking at in the Porsche, 3rd in silver. You can see that on the left-hand side. Heinrich leads Pro from Guven and Sandy Mitchell, who has that space of 4.8 seconds ahead of Nicholas Nielsen. And then Fagg and Zhu fighting over the lead in gold by just half a second between the two of them. Third in gold, quite a way back. Nicholas Bart will be surprised to find himself there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, hasn't he, to make up on that, as Daniele Di Amato has lost ground and Thomas Drouet has lost everything coming out of Radion, so the Mercedes has had a big spin. We've already had one drama and now another one has not helped. Charlie Fag in the meantime, he's closing onto the back of the traffic. He's caught Gilles Magnus now, who has fallen a long way back from Sheldon van der Linde, and Charlie Fag then under attack as the instructions are given to him. He's attacking and defending. He's on the back of Magnus. He's also trying to keep Marius Zug at bay. Down through Porn they turn now, but that McLaren is going well.
Thomas Drouet has got back moving again, albeit 13 seconds back from Clement Schmidt, so way down the order. That car running an MSI livery for the first time. It's making its debut in the sim racing series, but Mercedes wanting to use it in this race as well. Usually the liveries mimic what we see in the real world, but for that particular car, a special livery with, we will see the partnership between Mercedes-AMG and MSI debuting tomorrow in
Yellow
the
flag
sim
accepted.
race.
Right, now Charlie Fag is about to make his move, isn't he, here for 9th place. Gilles Magnus in the Audi, Charlie Fag in the McLaren. They are absolutely nose to tail coming through Blanchimont now towards the chicane. We saw a lap ago how hard it can be to overtake here. Magnus positions the car absolutely right. Charlie Fag closes right up and having a go back at him. Look, it's Marius Zug now, which has got the better drive off the floor, the McLaren or Mercedes. It's the McLaren that stays ahead. So Charlie Fag there in the red McLaren hangs on to his 10th place, but all of a sudden
La volta, va.
3 more lengths or so to Gilles Magnus, having been right with him under braking for the chicane.
This is really hard for the Optimum Motorsport driver because he doesn't really need to fight with Gilles Magnus, but the more he sits behind him, the more he gives an opportunity for Marius Zug to take that lead in the Gold Cup. So it's more of a cork stop to get past rather than actually a position change. As we look down to 19th position, Clement Schmidt on the back of Nicolas Bart. They are not fighting for a class position. Is that Nicolas Bart ahead of Clement Schmidt? Is that a change of position?
I think that was where they were. Clement Schmidt working his way forward. Sandy Mitchell in the meantime is getting a bit bored staring at the back of this Audi. Cesar Gazzo is still there, you can't dislodge him, and now we're getting more penalties on Sheldon van der Linde and Charlie Fag being given penalties. So 5 seconds for van der Linde, 10 seconds for Charlie Fag. So cars now are coming through for the 8th time of asking. This is the race leader, lest we forget. Lauren Heinrich is way out on his own, so powering his way through for the 8th time as the arena. Let's all go. Drivers hard at work, fans watching. Lauren Heinrich is doing an absolutely outstanding job here. He's parachuted in and he's showing people the way to do it.
Heinrich sits 4th position in our championship with 4 points from round 1, so 2nd in the pro class, and on that occasion to Jordan Pepper. Jordan Pepper struggling on this one, only 12th position overall, just with a point between themselves and Dries Van Goor. We haven't spoken about Dries Van Goor. Is he even?
No, it's Sheldon van der Linde is masquerading.
Yeah.
So that's the car that is in 8th place.
And leads in our pro class, but only by a single point. So with them only down in 5th position, that would be a championship position change. We start turning our attention to the championship because this is the midpoint of the championship. We are going to have another race at the end of July. A little bit of contact from Cesar Gazzo and Sandy Mitchell just getting caught out by Cesar on the brakes a little early. We'll have the next round of the championship at the end of July, which is unusual actually. Usually it's the first week in September, but we'll go to the Nürburgring and simulate the Nürburgring race, and then we wait until October before the final round in Barcelona.
Now, to clarify one or two elements of all of this, you're looking at Cesar Gazzo under attack from Sandy Mitchell. Let's just cover off this, and then we'll go back to the race control situation. Gazzo is hard at work. Mitchell goes to the outside line. Can't do it there. Right, the reason that Kelvin van der Linde has been given a 5-second penalty is for aggressive driving. Charlie Fag here has been given a penalty for causing a collision, but he's about to gain a place round the outside of Gilles Magnus going into Lincoln. Fantastic! Right round the outside, brilliant stuff. Well done, Charlie Fag.
That is a beautiful move, and he needs to get on with it now with that 15-second penalty. He needs to have 15 more seconds than Marius Zug, who flashes his light furiously at Gilles Magnus because he can't let that McLaren get away. He needs now to clear Gilles Magnus.
Still the best lap of the race, that of Larry Heinrich, 2 minutes 17.302 set earlier on, and the margin is 2.8 seconds. Nestor not being able to offer an answer, but equally he's leading his class, and he might be quite comfortable there. There, number 11, look, trying to come back at Charlie found Gilles Magnus, but I think Charlie now has suggested he needed to do will drive away, although Magnus has got on the brakes coming there down through the pit path.
Difficult one for Gilles Magnus because he's out of the points as well in his category. He needs to get past Sheldon van der Linde ahead, who actually, as you say, is carrying that 5-second penalty. So there is a possibility of picking up a single point, which will be his first point of the year for the number 11 machine. Just the 25, the 159 and the 11 not scoring points this year so far in that pro class. Everybody else has got at least one.
Now Gilles Magnus is going to have to make this Audi very, very wide again. Marius Zug was one of the good overtakers at the start of the race, and I suspect he will be so again. We've done 20 minutes, by the way, now, so first third of the race done. Zug lines up to have a go on the inside. The chicane is going to be close. Magnus gives him room, but the Audi stays ahead. Now you've got the drag race out of the chicane. Audi versus Mercedes, but Magnus stays ahead again.
And the convention is down the inside usually would work, but if you can't get yourself properly down the inside to completely claim the apex, you might as well go around the outside. It's better because it gives you the inside for the second part, and you can claim it. But that was kind of a half move there from Marius Zug. Needs to be a little bit more aggressive.
Bueno, tío, quinto, no está mal.
True enough, Charlie Fangio is escaping up the road. You're looking at Gilles Magnus hard at work as they ride the curve, coming out of a Rouge up now the exit of Radion, the Canal Straight, and then to Lecombe. Fascinating to see how the different cars work.
Qué buena. P3.
Mercedes looks as though the Canal Straight plays into its favour because there, look, Zug is a lot closer at the end, but by the time he's got to Lecombe, he can't find a way through this.